Good evening, everybody. It's been about a month since I made my announcement about the changes coming to my channel. If you'll notice, I have gotten the videos all assembled into their respective playlists. I think there's 3 that I uploaded yesterday or the day before that I may not have incorporated into the Pepper Review playlist. But other than that, it's like through 234 that I have finished, and every other video is cataloged and good to go. I have not made any changes to the channel page yet. I've been arduously trying to finish up my Iron Maiden critiques so I can start filming the videos for those. I kind of doodled around a little bit with Microsoft Movie Maker to get kind of a template for, or a general idea for how I might want to proceed with the album title screen and everything like that. I might have to dig and find some images that I'm allowed to use to try and spice up the graphics a little bit, but other than that, I've been just basically listening to the music. I wanted to give you guys a general idea with what to expect with the album reviews and the process that I went through to try and come up with as honest of a rating as I possibly could for each album. I look at them as an artist as a whole. I went through each album first. I said in my other video, gave them a general rating, went back through again, and any song that had the same rating, I listened to those 2 or 3. In some cases there was a 3-way tie. I don't think I ever had 4-way ties, but listened to that group of songs that had the same rating on each album and altered their ratings, like started doing quarter ratings then instead, and quite a few orders switched actually on each album as I went through those, and I'm done with that phase of the critiquing process, and now I'm on to the now that I've finished those up, I went through again, and I even said that, and I was astounded that it took me a month to do that, listening to the songs basically, you know, half a dozen times a day back and forth. Sometimes when I went through with the ones that were right next to each other in the ratings, like 8 and 8.5 or 8 and 9 or whatever it happened to be on each album, and that's when the orders switched quite a bit. So now I'm into, I'll show you the papers I got going on right here. You can see I have them all separated by the same rating that are across all albums, and then I'm listening to, I got all those songs uploaded into folders on my MP3 player and also into folders on my computer here if I'm at home listening, and try and come up with a final order for, like, say, here I'll show you. See, all these songs right here are 8 3/4 rating songs, and you can see my little notes I got right next to here that says it's lower than Back in the Village, Wrathchild. So I put the little numbers here to try and determine the order, and I'm actually in the middle of this particular category right now. Go all the way through up to 13, and then here's what I did with the other ones so far. See how they all, and I try, like, say there's 8 1/4 and 8 1/2 here. The minimum rating for the 8 1/2 category, obviously 8 1/2, and I don't want to, when I reorient the ratings for the 8 1/4 category, I don't want that to overlap into the 8 1/2. So I set the upper limit. The highest rated song in the 8 1/4 category is 8.4, which was Look for the Truth. And then I will adjust the ratings accordingly for each album. After I am done with all of these, I add those up and give that the rating and see how it's moved from its previous rating average based on the old numbers. And then I'll again do the boundary region one, where see I got the 6 3/4 here for Sanctuary, and then there's the 7 category. So I'll go, the Ides of March was the lowest rated song in the 7 category, and I'll listen to Sanctuary and the Ides of March. The only ones I don't need to do that with are like Running Free and Sanctuary. Those are both on the same album, and I already separated those, so that's their final ratings basically, unless the Ides of March moves lower than Sanctuary, and then in which case I'd have to listen to the Ides of March next to Running Free, and so on to come up with a final spectrum, so to speak, of the ratings of the songs and how they measure up to one another. And there would be the wall for each category, the uppermost rated song. Obviously, if I listen to songs, say, okay, for instance, when I finally go through this again, the highest rated song in the 8 1/4 categories, Look for the Truth, so that would reach up to the 8 3/4 category, or the 8 1/2 category, and Where Eagles Dare is the lowest rated song on the 8 1/2, so 8.4 and 8.5. I will listen to those two songs next to each other, and if, say Look for the Truth moves up, then I would listen to the next one up, which would be Fortunes of War. But since Fortunes of War and Look for the Truth are on the same album, and I already listened to them side by side, I wouldn't move that one up anymore. It would just stay at that, and then yeah, so anyone's, if they run into the wall, like if I keep reorienting, once it hits a song that's on the same album that was already deemed to be a higher rating, then that's where that one will stop. And it's going to be a bit, yeah. I'm really trying to get through this as quickly as possible, but that's kind of the process I've been going through with trying to get my ratings tweaked perfectly, and look at the band as a whole and not just isolate each album, or even just with the same rated songs. And then this way I get, this song is good in comparison to these ones, but not in comparison to the ones that are on this other album, and listen to them back and forth next to each other, get a better gauge for the immersion process of how the songs convey the story of whatever the lyrics are about, like I said in my other video. So that's my own particular methodology for how I'm establishing the ratings, and it's quite a process. So I try to be thorough, and it's very, very painstaking. And it's not, even if I listen to every one of these songs once all the way through in sequence, that takes a long time in and of itself. But when I have to go through the songs and listen to them several times in a row, even if it's two songs that I'm trying to compare, come up with a better rating for each of them, then it takes even longer. And then if I say two songs are next to each other and then I flip them, then I have to listen to the next one up to see if that one will flip even higher. So sometimes it's a cascade, and I end up bumping a song way up. Now with this, listening to all the ones in the same category, that's been really interesting. It's going a little faster than I expected, actually, but that's a good thing. That way now that I've listened to every one of these songs all the way through many times, some way more than others, several times around, when I got to this point now, I'm a lot more familiar with all the songs and the soul of the song and the general feel, what the lyrics are telling, and all the instrumentation, all the little riffs and fills and bridges and unisons and harmonies and melodies and drum rolls, etc. It's just a familiarization process. As much as I've listened to them over the years, now that I'm doing this, I'm really getting to know their stuff in many different ways that I didn't even expect. And there are some songs that are hidden gems that I never really gave much of a chance before. It was just kind of oh yeah, whatever. I was riding a high on some other song at the time I heard them, and so I didn't really give it as much of a chance. And so this gives me an opportunity to get rid of some of my bias and my prejudice. So a spiritual exercise of sorts to better my own center of gravity in my mind. And so yeah, that's where I'm at. So I'm done with my rant for now. At least you guys know now what's going on with me and know what to expect. I probably should, like I said in the other video, I said it'd probably be a month or two with getting the reviews uploaded. I got plenty of backlog pepper tests, and I still have 2 more peppers in my fridge that I have yet to review. So there'll be enough content uploaded in the interim before I get these album reviews done to keep everybody occupied and let you know what's going on. Pepper grow log videos are done until February or possibly January, depending on when I start my seeds. But so that's where that stands with the grow logs. I wanted to conclude 2012 and then give me a little breathing room to get other things prepared, and then we'll come back at you with more in 2013 with my brand new seed starts. And yeah, that's about it. So, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you guys whenever I see ya. Bye-bye.